يا جماعة الخير إنهم يعيشوا بسلام.
Now we move on to Syria. Syrian state media has reported that the Jordanian army carried out airstrikes on Wednesday, targeting drug smuggling networks in southern Syria. The strikes focused on drug smuggling networks and storage farms in Sueda, the countryside. Jordan has confirmed it hit factories and workshops used by arms and drug dealers, claiming traffickers organizing smuggling into Jordan who were neutralized. The army added that the attacks were based on accurate intelligence and coordinated with regional partners. A local resident described the bombardments as extremely intense, hitting farms and smuggling routes during Syria's civil war before Bashar al-Assad's fall in December 2024. The drug captagon became a major export, funding the government. Hezbollah in Lebanon was also accused of benefiting from the trade. Now for this discussion, we welcome retired Major General Sudakarji. He's a senior geopolitical and strategic defense expert, joins us live from New Delhi. Thank you very much, Major General Sudakarji, for joining us again. Well, and good to see you. Merry Christmas. Looking at this now, what are the strategic and legal justification that Jordan is going to be making towards hitting inside of Syria, as they claim that it's drug vessels or drug transnational criminal networks?
Sobha, good morning, Merry Christmas. Thank you for getting me for your show. It's a very, very important thing which is taken place. I would say it is a significant milestone in 21st century as far as the security paradigm is concerned, that to neutralize the drug cartels and illegal arms which are stored across the border in a neighboring country. Jordan, I think, to the best of my knowledge and memory, this is for the first time they have carried out an operation like this, and they have targeted the targets which are picked up by very accurate intelligence. But if you allow me, although you have covered much of the narrative in your preamble, just allow me to explain what is this all about. Very briefly, you have time, can I go ahead please?
Yes, please go ahead. Thank you very much.
Okay, so I require 2 minutes so that the viewers, they have if not entire complete understanding, some understanding of this subject. Now you talked about this captagon tablet. So what is this captagon tablet? The captagon tablet has to be understood that it is the medical term or scientific term is called as phenethylene. It is a synthetic stimulant. Once upon a time, it used to be legally prescribed for consumption for medical treatment, but now it is a controlled substance. And because it is a controlled substance, you find quite more often than not, it is illicitly manufactured and trafficked. Especially, it has not caught the attention of the global media. This is perhaps for the first time, to my limited understanding, that it has caught the attention of the global media. It is rampant in all over the Middle East. I have been there in Middle East for a long time, and I have been traveling off and on. I'm aware of the fact it is manufactured and trafficked, especially from Syria into Middle East. It acts as a pro-drug for amphetamine and theophylline, producing stimulant effects, though the modern illicit versions may contain different drugs like mephedrone. Now these are high sounding medical terms. All I am trying to say is that this particular product used to be produced during Assad's time, Bashar Assad, who was the president for a long time in Syria, and his complete government for 50 odd years, or whatever time he was there in the presidency, he was financed majorly by this particular drug. And by what happened was, it actually spread all over the Middle East, that more or less people of Middle East, total population is around 31 crores. I would be wrong to say there is a very high percentage of consumption of this particular drug, because of which it actually carries derangement of the mind, and you have lots of problems. And if I may just quickly give out how does it impact? It impacts, it increases the alertness, energy level, euphoria, and it reduces the appetite. And the health risk is related to addiction, anxiety, paranoia, insomnia, cardiovascular problems, and potential overdose. And because of these kind of problems, I'm glad that it is catching the media attention. It needs to be arrested in earnest. Jordan started getting affected and started getting impacted. The complete population of Jordan, since they have a common border, things have been getting infiltrated by illegal couriers. And along with the drugs, the illegal weapon systems are also getting infiltrated. And the targets which have been engaged by Jordan, essentially, they are the storehouses or the factories where the drugs are produced. And Syria has become a major illicit producer, as I have covered earlier, and it is a big exporter, flooding the complete Middle East, Jordan, Gulf states, with these kind of tablets. I have seen it in my own eyes. People have been consuming like any other kind of a tablet, without which their survival is at stake. And it contains a phenethylene, which I covered earlier. It's a globally controlled, with illicit production being a significant regional issue. If this is not checked, then perhaps after fentanyl is a drug which is already flooded in America. China is the main producing base of the country. After fentanyl, I think this is going to catch momentum and going to impact the world over, because anything that happens in Middle East willy-nilly, by virtue of being the pivot of the world, you have all the kinds of traffic connectivity to Middle East. They actually fan out to Africa, they go to Europe, they go across the Atlantic to America, and also South Asia. Middle East per se, and particularly Syria, I would say, it is at the crossroads of multiple civilizations. Therefore, the Jordan government has taken a proactive action. The strategic significance is going to be that perhaps this will have a multilateral kind of an implication, unless multiple stakeholders are taken on board. Who are the stakeholders? Syria itself. The leader himself has been from Al Qaeda and ISIS, and with the sponsorship and support of USA, his power is being actually buttressed. And similarly, unless these stakeholders are taken on board, perhaps it may result in some kind of a retribution which will be detrimental to the overall security situation of Middle East. It will open up a new front. I only hope and pray that America and Syrian governments have been taken on board. Turkey also has to be taken on board, so as Iraq and all other neighboring countries. Back to you, Asuba.
Thank you for that detailed explanation and laying it out all there for us, Major General Sudakarji. Please stay with us as we come back to you for our next discussion as well. Now we stay in Syria. Syrian state media has said that 3 people have been killed in clashes with security forces in coastal Latakia province, the heartland of the country's Alawite minority community. Earlier, the state media reported clashes with a group of wanted outlaws in the area, but did not specify the number of security personnel wounded. Since last December's ousting of longtime ruler Bashar al-Assad, himself an Alawite, Syria's new Islamist authorities have frequently reported security operations against what they described as remnants of his government. Syria's coastal areas saw the massacre of Alawite civilians in March, with authorities accusing armed Assad supporters of sparking the violence by attacking security forces. Now for this discussion, we welcome back retired Major General Sudakarji. He's a senior and geopolitical and strategic defense expert, joins us live from New Delhi. Thank you very much, Major General, for staying with us. What is urgent for Syria to do in this case? How can this unresolved sectarian tensions, how do you think they should move forward, as it affects their political stabilization?
Could you repeat the question? Somehow your voice was getting broken, so I couldn't make up the question. Can you repeat it, please?
Yes, Major General, can you hear me clearly now?
Yeah. Now you're better. Yeah, okay. Correct.
Thank you. Let me repeat it. So, how do you think? How is this, continuous minority attacking or problems with Latakian community affecting how Syria moves forward?
I'm getting the sense and the orientation of your question. The minorities who are being persecuted and being attacked
Yes.
in Syria, how is it going to impact the overall direction in which Syria is moving ahead? Well,
Yes.
you see, the call has to be taken by the leadership. It has to be a top-down and bottom-up approach by Syria and the countries who are supporting Syrian government to thrive and prosper. And otherwise, the minority problem may turn out to be very, very dangerous. When you talk about the minorities, it is not only Alawites, there are others as well, because a substantial percentage of minorities are there in Syria, and they are bordering more than 4 countries: Turkey, you have Iraq, you have Israel, you have Jordan. So willy-nilly, they have a cross-border kind of affiliations, and this may give rise to kind of a insurgency if it is not actually taken care of in a holistic manner. I would only urge the governments who are in position as on today to actually make people participate, have such kind of structures created in the government and in the constitution and also the architecture of governance, that everyone should be heard. Otherwise, this may turn out to be a big problem and challenge for the Syrian government to actually withstand these kind of challenges in the path of the progress that they are actually planning and trying to go ahead with the support of countries like USA. Last but not the least, we should not forget about one thing, that Syria as a country has got huge deposits of rare earth elements. Nobody has spoken about this, but majorly the oil rigs, the oil fields, fossil fuel that I'm talking of, this country also produces large quantum of oil, which USA has been eyeing for a long time. And the minority issue can be best resolved if countries like USA, being the superpower, call it declining or whatever, is taken on board to address the issues. Otherwise, it has got the potential to flare up along the borders with these neighboring countries around. Back to you, Asuma.
With that, I would like to thank Major General Sudakarji for joining us today and sharing that insight throughout our news. Thank you very much. Now we move on to Israel.